And welcome, everyone, to Lyndhurst Community News. And today is Wednesday, April 17th. This is episode 52. And I'm Brian Haggerty, and here's what's happening around our community. But first, any news that you may have from your club, organization, your church, school, team, as well as birthdays and anniversaries of note, make sure you email them to LyndhurstCommunityNews@gmail.com for inclusion in this weekly broadcast. And that email address, as well as all contact information that we mention here, is always going to be available in the description box below the video. So if you're watching us on Facebook, click on the video. It will open up the YouTube page. Go below the video. There's that little box. Expand it. That's where all the information will be. Okay. Now, after I get through this week's news, I do have a couple of updates for you. One update is about the Delafield Avenue Road closure. How much longer will that last? That'll be by the new train station. And the other one is on the Redevelopment Committee and what they've been up to and what they're going to be doing henceforth. But first, let's get through the news, and let's start off with sports. All righty, now the lacrosse season has been off to a marvelous start. In fact, they won their first game. They won their first two games, actually. They beat Weehawken 13-3, and that was their first win of the season. They went on to then beat Eastern Christian 11-6. Now, as a result of this, the first win of the season means that their first blue-collar player of the game award was handed to junior Logan Steitzer. He took home the award after dominating his performance, taking face-offs. And in the second game, freshman goalie Lucas Gallo got the blue-collar player award for his dominating performance between the pipes. So congratulations to those young players and to the team. The team is off to a great start. Good going. In other sports news, boys volleyball, after barely losing game one, they bounced right back and won games 2 and 3 to beat North Arlington. Congratulations to the boys volleyball team. The boys baseball team beat Leonia 14-3. And the girls flag football beat Garfield 25-6. That's the sports for this week. And congratulations to all the coaches and the players for always making Lyndhurst proud. And moving on to some news from one of our churches. Saturday, April 27th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., the United Presbyterian Church of Lyndhurst, which is located at 511 Ridge Road, is holding its 18th annual Spring Fling Crafts and Bake Sale. They'll feature handmade items such as cards, wooden signs, soaps, baby blankets, jewelry, jams, paintings, homemade cakes, cookies, a white elephant table, and much, much more. And also, the thrift shop will be open with quality clothes at low prices. The barbecue lunch begins at 11:30 a.m., and all are welcome to come and browse their variety of homemade crafts to enjoy some lunch and to just enjoy themselves. For more information, you may call the church office at 201-939-7920 or send them a message on Facebook. Just look them up under United Press Lyndhurst. Now, we'll put that again in the description box so you don't have to worry about writing it down. Now, here's something you may not know, that this is something new to the high school in the past several years. They have a law enforcement club. And last week, members of this club, and the club, by the way, is run through the Student Resource Officer Juvenile Division. And last week, they had the opportunity to take a field trip to the North Bergen Police Firing Range and the Hudson County Police Academy. Students were provided with a demonstration by the local officers, part of the emergency response team operators, who gave them a demonstration at the range, and they were given an in-depth exposure to the special weapons, technology, and tactics employed by these very highly trained officers. The day ended with a surprise greeting by the Hudson County Police Academy drill instructors Upon their arrival to the facility, that must have been interesting, students were given a warm and loud welcome, followed by another surprise, which consisted of some physical training. So a heartfelt thank you to the North Bergen Police Department and the Hudson County Police Academy staff for making this experience for the students possible and memorable. Okay, now attention women who love to play softball. The Lyndhurst Women's Softball League, well, they're going to be having a summertime league here, June, July, and August on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. So if you're interested in this summer league, and you must be 18 years old to play, the deadline to register is June 1st. And if you're interested, for more information, you can email Stephanie Mazzina or kkaminsky630 at AOL.com, and I'll put both of their email addresses in the description box. Okay, now this may seem a bit in the future, but let's face it, folks, it's going to be here before we know it. And that's our Memorial Day, annual Memorial Day parade in the township. One of our wonderful traditions here. That'll be on Monday, May 27th. The Veterans Alliance, of course, are in charge. And, of course, it's under the auspices of the township of Lyndhurst. And it starts at the Town Hall Park at 11 a.m. with pre-parade ceremonies starting at 10:30 a.m. Now, the reason I bring this up so early is because the Veterans Alliance are asking for any group who would like to march. You are invited. They're asking that you register the name of your organization with the township by calling Tom Witt at 201-446-1543 or the Parks Department at 201-804-2482, or you could also email Judy Benjamin at judyb@lyndhurstnj.org. You'll need to fill out the attached form and get it back to Tom Witt or the Parks Department by Tuesday, May 7th. And they intend to run a group meeting with the captain/leader of your organizations who want to be included in this parade, and the parade organizers. That meeting on May 15th. That's a Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. at the Lyndhurst Parks Department, 250 Cleveland Avenue. Now, a reminder that this Friday, the American Legion Post 139 here in Lyndhurst is going to be having its annual Scholarship Beefsteak at 7 p.m. Tickets are $60, and if you don't listen to the news until after Friday, unfortunately, you won't be able to make it. But there's still time to get tickets. I think that tomorrow is the cutoff Thursday, so if you want to come, it's $60 a person. That includes tapped beer and wine. And remember that all proceeds go to the benefit of scholarships that are given out by the Legion to graduating seniors from Lyndhurst, whether that be Lyndhurst High School or they could be going to a private school. They just have to be a resident of Lyndhurst and have a direct relative who serves or has served in our armed forces. And more American Legion reminders. This coming Sunday is the monthly pancake breakfast, and that's $10 per person. You can eat in or dine out. That's from, I believe, 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. So be sure to come on down. It's a big breakfast. You get scrambled eggs, your choice of sausage or pork roll, hash browns as well, coffee, tea, and juice and toast are all included, and, of course, pancakes. And, again, all of the proceeds go toward the scholarships that the Legion gives out. So come on down and have some breakfast. All right, now, as I said in the beginning of the show, I wanted to get to some other things. They're not necessarily news, but updates. Now, I've gotten some questions from people regarding the road closure on Delafield Avenue by the new train station. And I know I had mentioned it in the past, but what they're doing is those of us who've lived in town a long time know that area right under the train trestle on Delafield by the park is susceptible to flooding anytime we get severe or intense heavy rainfall. And obviously with the new elevators for the new train station, well, if you get flooded, the new elevators are going to wind up landing in the floods, in the accumulating water. So obviously that had to be fixed. So that's what they've been doing. They've been working on trying to improve the drainage. Unfortunately, from what I'm told, they're not going to be able to make it 100% because to do so would require new pipelines going all the way down to the Passaic River, costing millions upon millions of dollars. So that's not going to happen. However, what they're doing should alleviate most of the flooding except in what would be considered exceptional or torrential, horrible rainfalls. So that'll hopefully put an end to most of that. It doesn't happen that often, but now it will happen less often. Now, the big question is, when are we going to be able to drive back down Delafield Avenue again? Well, I'm told it's going to be about another 3 to 4 weeks before the work is completed. They may have one lane open at one point. I don't know if that's going to be north or southbound. I'm not sure. But it will be another 3 or 4 weeks before Delafield Avenue is back open once again. So that's the update on that. And the update on the Lyndhurst Redevelopment Committee. Now, as you know, the township applied for permission from the state to form this committee, the purpose of which is to really come up with an idea of what to do with the Lincoln School property. And not only the Lincoln School property, but how that will, again, pretty much lay the foundation, the groundwork for what we hope will be other improvements to other properties from that area moving outward. And as I mentioned, I believe 2 weeks ago, the building across the street on the corner, across from the Lincoln School, which is where the pizza parlor and the wine store are located, that's going to be completely rehabbed. The owner of the pizzeria bought the building from the family who's owned that for about 100 years. And he's already submitted plans. Anybody can go and take a look at them down at the construction department. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful improvement with some outdoor seating areas for people to eat, which is always very nice. But this committee, now they've been meeting with groups and organizations around town. If they haven't met with yours yet, they certainly will. They've already met with the AARP, the Women's Club, the Mount Carmel Seniors. Tomorrow evening, they will be meeting with the Italian American Club of Lyndhurst, and they'll also be meeting with the PTAs around town. And any group, organization, whether that be your church, they want to hear from everyone. The committee is charged ultimately to come to the final conclusion as to what is the best road forward in terms of development. And you've heard me mention on this show many times the uphill struggles and the issues that the township, not only Lyndhurst, but all townships face when it comes to state-mandated affordable housing units. That's what's behind the construction of so many of these apartments around all the towns that you see. And as I've said, unfortunately, it ties the hands of the local municipalities where they run the risk that if they deny a developer to build apartments, they can appeal that. The developer can appeal that to the county and win a judgment called builder's remedy, in which case they can come back, build whatever they want, and pretty much ignore any township building ordinances. So that's very serious. So what we're going to do with this property is really going to set the stage. And next week, on next week's episode, we're going to have a very special, it should be next week. If not, I haven't confirmed it yet with him. But former Mayor Lou Stellato, who's also currently a commissioner on the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, he is the chairman of this new committee, along with Jim Kirkos, who is the vice chair. Jim is also born and raised in Lyndhurst. He is the CEO and president of the Meadowlands Regional Chamber of Commerce. And the two of them, who of course both live in Lyndhurst, who love the township, are very proud and happy to serve on this committee, which also consists of other Lyndhurst residents. And they want to meet with everyone just to digest and get an idea. What do we as a community want to do with this land and this development? What do we see as the future vision? Realizing that we have to work with the struggle of the affordable housing mandates coming from the state. And so as I say, either next week, hopefully, or the week after, Lou Stellato will be joining us here for an interview on the news to talk all about it, as well as offer his insights into what he thinks will be happening. So that will be coming up. Okay, let's see what else we have here. I think that's it. Yeah, all right, that's it. That's all I have for you this week. But remember, as I always remind you, and the fire department asks me to remind you, to make sure you check those batteries on your smoke detectors and your carbon monoxide detectors, because they save lives. And always remember that we have a volunteer fire department in this town, and we're not too many towns left that have volunteers. We're very grateful for it, and we're very grateful for all of them putting their lives on the line for us. I mean, I don't know too many people who can jump out of bed in the middle of night, regardless of the temperature or the weather, and run to a fire. They deserve all of our appreciation and all of our support. So thank you to those great members of the Lyndhurst Volunteer Fire Department, as well as our volunteer first aid squad members. So we're one of the few left, so keep that in mind. All right, so that brings us pretty much to the end. And this is just Brian Haggerty again reminding you, get to know your neighbors. Help them out, especially if you have elderly neighbors. Help them out. Maybe pick up something from the store for them. Because what makes Lyndhurst such a great community is that we've always been there for one another. And I want that to always be the case in this wonderful, wonderful, close-knit family community. Get to know everybody. We want you to get to know the township. Make Lyndhurst your home. Until next week, this is Brian Haggerty saying God bless you and God bless our township.